Hi there, I'm Zelim now with Tank Lanning, and this is Think Tank, powered by Vodacom. It's a rugby show that's a lot like bubblegum. It's sweet and gives you something to chew on. Tank, after 3 rounds of Super Rugby, I suppose the one thing we've learned is that Victor Matfield's a big fan of the show. We gave him a bit of a rev for being too much finesse last week, and against the Sharks at Loftus, he came out, he was throwing himself around like a side plate at a Greek wedding.
He's probably still in bed. No, sure, but he, as you say, he clearly watches the show. Came out firing. I've never seen a lock go up to the opposition team, when they're trying to get the line-out call going, and he just stuck his head in there. Never seen the likes. And then he obviously got right up close with Bismarck, and that probably could have led to cards. But sure, he was up and at him. He really was up for it. And it obviously leaked out into the rest of the Bulls side, and they were properly up for that game.
Right. I mean, in that game, the Bulls kicked more in that one match against the Sharks than they had in their previous 2 matches, and they came out winners. Kicking equals winning is a common trend, it seems like. If you look at the Cheetahs versus the Blues earlier in the weekend, they played none of the rugby and beat the Blues by 1 point.
Yeah, we touched on it last week, and for me it's a real sadness in rugby. I know you like your domkrag or stamkar rugby, but I think people are paying real money to be entertained. And your point about the Cheetahs Blues game is very valid. You look at the stats from that game; they are absolutely incredible. Less so the kicking, because they both kicked 23 times. But how are these? Meters run, 237 Cheetahs, 508 Blues. Carries, 45 Cheetahs, 127 Blues. Passes, 44 Cheetahs, 151 Blues. They just played all the rugby. They had the territory, they had the possession. But it's the saddest thing, is that when you've got the ball, you make more mistakes. Obviously, it depends on the level of talent on your side.
Right.
But realistically, and I think guys like Gary Gold have been saying this for a while, is that without the ball, you can't make mistakes. And so you kick the ball away, let the opposition make mistakes. Saddens me.
So does rugby need to embrace that and say, this is what rugby is about, this is how the game works, and we need to celebrate that? Or do we need to keep trying to apologize for that by tweaking the rules and having these sort of marketing schemes that we see coming out of Sanzar's communications office?
We definitely don't want the latter.
Right.
What we want, I think, is what the All Blacks are doing. Okay, so I hinted a little bit earlier about it's the level of talent that allows you to play a certain game. And I think they've evolved to a certain stage of the game where they can play a more advanced game, and that's said with due respect to the rest of the world.
Right.
And I think what you see with the Chiefs and with the All Blacks, with a guy like Sonny Bill, they're just super talented, and they can retain the ball, they can play a level of rugby which is actually just slightly better than the rest of us. And if you can't play that game, you actually choose rather not to play the ball and kick it away.
Right. I mean, we saw that in that Chiefs Crusaders game. I mean, the Chiefs did play all the rugby and did win that match, so that speaks to your point.
Yeah, they're the anomaly. And I think it speaks to All Black rugby. If you've got a Charlie Nagatai, if you've got a Sonny Bill Williams, Aaron Cruden, that's a proper backline. And I think also, you make the point on Twitter over the weekend that if you've got small backs out wide, that really makes it tricky to play a ball-in-hand game, because you can get turned over by a beast out wide. And I think what the Chiefs have got is that they've got skill in the centres, and then they've got pace and size out wide, and that enables them to play that kind of game.
So, Tank, on that point, the Stormers are top of the SA conference. They're very much playing those percentage tactics that we're talking about here, where they minimise risk and obviously use that kicking game to get field position, and it's working for them.
Yeah, so there's a couple of points there. I mean, I think Alistair's going to coach in Japan, so he wants to go out on a winning note. He don't want to leave on a sour note. Gatsma was talking about playing a more ball-in-hand, enterprising kind of game last year, and they did that in the Currie Cup. Yeah. But now it certainly looks like it's Stormers of 2012, and it's rolling more tries, and it's keeping ball in hand, well, not ball in hand, but kicking more, playing in the opposition half. Yeah. And it is working for them. Is it working for the crowd? You remember in 2012, people started getting very unhappy with the Stormers, even though they had good log position. Yeah. The fans got grumpy, and then that kind of rugby doesn't seem to work in playoff rugby. Right. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out.
The other point is that in Super Rugby, you get bonus points for scoring 4 tries. In a World Cup year, you're not going to be getting bonus points for scoring 4 tries. Does this brand of rugby, does it work for the Springboks? Is it a good tee-up for this World Cup?
Yes, sadly. And again, it brings me back to my point about how I think All Black rugby has evolved, and I think they'll probably still play a little bit more ball in hand, but they'll kick. With Cruden, Carter, whoever plays at fly-off, they'll kick a bit more. But 100%, and Jake White is completely correct in that you play percentage rugby to win World Cups. And perhaps it speaks to that point, it's everyone trying to win that World Cup towards the end of the year.
Spot on. That's it for this time, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Please be sure to check us out at vodacom.co/rugby. Ciao.